I haven't had an opportunity to notice the changes in Antarctica, but I've only been there twice. Once 40 years ago and once about 10 years. In those two trips, in my first visit, it was very primitive. They didn't have a lot of support. My last trip, I was really surprised when I went to go shopping in one of the little military stores, and there was an ATM machine to use for cash. I could use a credit card, and that would really surprise me. Greenland has changed because when we first came here, our first winter when we were doing work and still not quite finished, we were experiencing minus 50 degrees. And we haven't seen those cold temperatures since. Now a typical cold winter day would be minus 20. So this part of Greenland has warmed up. Greenland has much more coastal areas that are inhabited. That's where the population of Greenland reside. There's about 50,000 people that live in Greenland, and they live here year-round on the coast, along the ocean where they can fish and do that sort of thing. There is no territory like that in the Antarctic. A couple of coastal places, but they're essentially bases for support. But when you go inland, both the island of Greenland and the continent of Antarctica, then you're on ice. You're on ice sheets. So that in that sense, there's no difference. There's a lot of travel involved in what we do, but it's not all to places like this and doing research. It's going to meetings and organizing meetings like this and interacting with colleagues. And a lot of what we have to do is, you know, we do a little part of the puzzle and someone else is doing a little part of the puzzle. We have to get together and so we can see what they've done and so we can eventually get the big picture done. And that's what we're after, is a bigger picture. When you do research, you're always looking for the piece that nobody else has been able to figure out. And if you can figure it out, that's a lot of fun. I mean, it's like doing a puzzle, but a little more formally and structured. But you're trying to find something that nobody quite figured out yet. How does that work? And so you start working on it, start making measurements, and start applying your physics and math to it. Then you start to get some hints. Well, and eventually you solve that problem and you write a paper or you publish it or you present it to somebody, and